starting off this video with a very fun start. I love book mail, so I've got 2 packages here to show you guys, and I've already opened both of them so that you don't have to watch me struggle through opening the packages. So the first one is one of my favorite packages that I get every month, and that is Book of the Month. Book of the Month is a subscription service that it's $16.99 every month, and you get to pick out of 5 different choices of a brand new hardcover book every month. And then you can also do like add-ons where you can add on additional hardcover of any of their selection, any of the books that they've had. So this month I just picked one of the books, and this is what we've got. So when you open it up, it's so cute inside. And every month you get a little bookmark with it as well. So this month we have The Fury, and then the bookmark, it says Book of the Month on the back, and then they always have like a funny little saying. This book hits the plot. So we've got Book of the Month book, The Fury. I'm very excited about this one. This is by the same author of The Maidens and The Silent Patient, and I've read both of them. The Silent Patient was a favorite of mine, and then The Maidens was probably, I think I rated it like a 4 star, so they were both up there. So I'm very excited about his 3rd book because I have a feeling I'm going to love it. That's it for that one. The next package I'm extra excited about, which I told you guys about previously in a different video, but if you didn't watch that one, I did order a couple books from Barnes & Noble, which that doesn't even say. This side kind of says Barnes & Noble. I'm very excited about this. I opened this one, but I haven't like looked inside yet, so I ordered paper. First book is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. Look at how gorgeous. I'm so excited. This, funny enough, I just ordered this, and then my book club that I have every month actually picked to read this book this month. So it worked out perfectly because I'd already ordered it. So I'm very excited. I will be reading this one in January. And then the other one is The Fragile Threads of Power by V. Schwab. Very excited about this one as well because I love V. Schwab so much. So every book that I've read from V. Schwab or Victoria Schwab, it's the same person. Any book I've read from her I loved, and so I'm very excited about this one because I have a feeling I'll love it. And it's from the same universe as the Darker Shade of Magic series, is what I've heard. And I read this first book. I didn't finish the series, but I really liked the first book. I just read it a long time ago now, so I just have a hard time remembering the details of it to move on to the next books. But I'm very excited. So here are my 2 Barnes & Noble purchases. And that is it for this part of the video. Hi guys, so welcome back. It is a few days later from that last video that I took where I opened a little bit of book mail. And so I just wanted to kind of update you guys on how my reading is going so far in the year. So it is January 12th, and I have read 6 books so far in January, which I can't even get over. Like, I'm so obsessed right now that like the second I'm like devouring books, which I just get into moods where like I have a month where I'll read like literally every second that I have the chance, and then I'll have a month where I don't read a single book. So great way to start off the year for me. January has been a really great month of reading, and I just wanted to share with you guys all the books that I've read so far because we have had some pretty great reads this month. So here's the first 3 that I read in January. Starting off with a thriller. Actually, hold on my book. Starting off with a thriller. This was in my 2024 anticipated reads, and so of course I had to pick it up. And I told you guys I was going to read this book very soon. But that was None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I had been wanting to read this book for like a while, and finally one of my friends reached out to me and said something about it, and then somebody else reached out to me and made a comment about it, and so I was like, okay, multiple people have said something, or videos have talked about how good this book was. I was like, I just have to do it. This is going to be my first read of January. And it was a great way to start off the year. It got me very hooked, very in the mood to continue reading. It was a great book. I devoured it. I think I read it in like a day or 2. It was so good. So I did really enjoy this book. If you're looking for a good thriller that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat, keep you guessing, highly recommend None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. Okay, so the next book we have is Alone with You in the Ether by Alibi Blake. This one was also, if you have not seen this on the social media book community yet, I'm sure you will. This one is highly recommended by the book community, and I've heard about it so much, and the only book I've read by Alibi Blake is The Atlas Six, and I did enjoy that book. It's probably like a 3.54 star for me. Wasn't like an all-time favorite, but I did really like it. And so this was one that I just felt like so many people talk about and love this book that I had to give it a shot. So it is technically considered a romance book, although it is nothing like what you would traditionally think of as a romance book, I feel like. Maybe other people don't agree with that. I don't know. I felt like it was like very literary fiction, like contemporary fiction type with romance in it. I don't know. It just didn't feel like, the story didn't feel completely based on romance. It kind of felt very like philosophical and very about the characters' like thoughts and feelings and lives and trauma, and I don't know, it just felt, I felt more like it was more about these characters that you're reading about than it is about like their romance particularly, although it is about their romance. So very hard to rate this book because it's not very easy to compare it to anything. So I still don't, not 100% sure how I felt about it, but I can tell you that I liked it. So, and I would recommend it. But just know that it's not really what you would expect out of a romance book. So the next book that I read was a reread because I am, as a lot of the book community is right now, I am preparing for January 30th when Sarah J. Maas releases Crescent City 3. So in December, I reread Crescent City 1, and in January, I reread Crescent City 2. This one is held very near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love this book. So many people say that it's so boring and the whole beginning is just like meaningless and boring, and that the last 100 pages is really where it gets interesting. And I just do not agree. I just don't agree with that opinion. I felt like rereading it again, I disagree even more than I did the first time. I was thinking like, you know what, maybe the first time I read it, it was all the hype and I was just, very hyped up to read it and I was excited, and so that's why I didn't agree with them. I'll come back to it now almost 2 years later with a fresh view on this and a new, kind of clear mindset. I seriously loved this book more the second time around than I did the first. and somehow the end still had me like giggling, kicking my feet, like giddy. I loved it. I love everything about this book. And you know what? If it's not your cup of tea, that's okay. And it's just not your cup of tea. But this series is one of my favorites and I love it. I absolutely love it. And so excited for book 3 to come out later this month. We are getting close. Then next, I read a duology. This was also on my anticipated reads of 2024. I'm so excited and I'm so happy that I read this series or this duology because it was absolutely amazing and it fit every perception that I had of what this series was going to be, and it was so good. And that is Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. This is by Rebecca Ross. This is another one that's very popular right now. As you can see, I picked a lot of very popular books to start off January, but I really wanted to start my year strong, and I wanted to start my year with books that I thought were going to be like 5-star reads or more, reads where I like just cannot stop thinking about them, and I succeeded because the first few reads of the year got me into the mood of reading, and I just wanted to keep picking up books. And then the last few that I've read have had me just in love with these books. So this series, if you have not heard about this yet or you haven't seen it on the social medias, this is it's a romantasy that is, honestly, I don't even know how to describe this book, to be honest. But now I'm 2 books deep, and I'm like, what's this about? I'm completely drawing a blank. Not what was it, what is, words. Not what was this book about as much as how do I describe it in enough words, if that makes sense. Like how, now I don't want to describe it with spoilers, so, but it was so good. Oh my goodness. It says, when 2 young rivaling journalists find love through a magical connection, they must face the depths of hell in a war between gods to seal their fate forever. This book was so good. So good. Honestly, I want so bad to also get, I have the US editions, but I also really want to get the UK editions because I really loved the series, and the UK editions are gorgeous. So look out for that. I might be, if I end up ordering those, I will make a video on them. Then the last read so far of January was another reread, and it's a series, and I'm on to the second book, and I'm going to hopefully finish this series in January. So the first book is The Cruel Prince. Lots of people have read this series. This is very popular. And I read it back in 2020. I believe it was February of 2020. I just went back and looked on my Goodreads to see when that was, and I believe it was February of 2020. So now it has been almost 4 years since I read the original trilogy, and I remember a lot about it. Actually, going back and reading it again, I was shocked at like how much of this book I actually remembered. But there were like small parts and small details that I didn't remember, and I just remembered like loving it. This was like one of the young adult fantasy series that really got me into fantasy. I had read some fantasy before, but this series really got me into high fantasy. Like, it was one of my first high fantasy series that I ever read and fallen in love with. And as she recently came out with, she's got like it's technically not part of this series, it's like a break off of this series about a character that's in this, but it's kind of their own book series. that recently came out. She brought out a book last year, and there's another one out this year, I believe. And so because these are coming out, I did pick up that book last year that she released. I do have it. It is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. And I did pick this up, and I did read it last year, but I remembered when I read it that I didn't love it as much as I thought I would. And I think it's because it had been so long since I read the original trilogy that it wasn't as enthralling as I thought that it was going to be, because I hadn't read about these characters in so long that I kind of forget all the things that really happened, and just a lot. So I decided that this year, before I pick up the newest one that's coming out, I really want to reread the whole series. It's been 4 years, so I'm going to reread. Right now I'm on The Wicked King, and then I'm going to read The Queen of Nothing, and then I do have the little novella, I guess, How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. Yes, How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. This book is gorgeous. Honestly, it is so gorgeous. The art, the whole book itself is just so beautiful. It's honestly a magical journey reading this series. The books themselves are gorgeous. The underneath is gorgeous. I love this series so much. So yeah, that is how January is going, and that is hopefully how I'm gonna finish out January, by finishing the rest of this Cruel Prince series. And I am gonna take a break. If I haven't finished Cruel Prince by the 30th, I'm going to take a break, and I'm gonna read Crescent City 3, because I'm really particular, and I'm really big on not getting spoiled. And these series have Sarah J. Maas books have really big endings usually, and so I really try to do everything in my power to not get that spoiled for myself. So what I did a couple years ago when Crescent City 2 came out was I binged the entire book in 2 days, so that nobody had time to spoil things on social media before I got to it. And I'm kind of hoping to do the same thing with Crescent City 3, but then the sad part is then I have nothing to look forward to until her next book comes out. But, you can only do so much. So that is my plan for the rest of January, and yeah, I will keep you guys updated, and I'll probably bring you another video soon of a reading vlog, or I do want to do some more sprayed edges, so comment down below if you're interested in another video on how I did the sprayed edges and watching me do more. And also let me know what kind of content you guys really like to see on here, and what kind of content you don't really care for, or if you just like everything. Let me know how you guys think, and thank you so much for watching my videos. Bye!